Good afternoon. I'm David Burns. I'm the chairman of the English Business Council, and I am delighted to welcome Joanna Cadman from the Royal Society of St George to tell us all about what's going on there. Joanna.
Well, like everywhere else in the world, we're rather locked down with coronavirus at the moment, which has been quite a blow because, of course, this week is St George's Day on Thursday, and we're not going to be doing any of the things we normally do. By now, normally we'd have had our parade at the Cenotaph and our service at Westminster Abbey. And by now, normally all the branches up and down the country will be immersed in either having done or doing something for St George's Day. But what we are doing is we're all rallying round. One thing we're doing with this week, which is going to be very important, is that BBC are having an event on Thursday evening to raise money for children in need. And we're giving a substantial donation to that, which will be lovely. And that will use the money that we would have spent on our cadets parade at the Cenotaph. Our branches are all looking after all their members. One of our branches is having a virtual dinner party. Everybody is still trying to communicate with each other and look after each other, which is good. On St George's Day, we're going to send out a message to all our members, obviously wishing them a happy St George's Day as much as it can be under the circumstances. We're going to ask everybody to fly St George's flag and to light a candle. Of course, Thursday evening in this country, we all stand on our doorsteps and clap for the NHS. So, of course, we'll be doing that on Thursday as well as waving our England flags. And on Sunday, there's going to be a service at our church at St George's at Hanover Square. It's their patronal festival, of course, and we're linking all our members to their service. And I'm reading the epistle, which will be interesting to do remotely, but then it'll be on their website. So we're doing our best, as I think everybody is, in these very odd times, to keep our spirits up.
It sounds like that there's a lot going on. Is there any message you'd like to give the Dubai St George's Society and those other societies outside of England in the Commonwealth at this time?
Yes, I would like to wish them all a happy St George's Day and a sunny spring and a good summer, and wish them all the best of health and as much happiness as we can get in these strange times. The one thing I have liked is the fact that everybody is rallying around each other and trying to find ways of communicating. And I think we need to carry on doing that, not just now, not just while this is going on, but into the future. There's the feeling of care and compassion that there has been in all this has been quite overwhelming. So let's keep that up.
Yes, it's the wartime spirit, but it's something that we do very well. As a nation and as a people. Somebody told me the other day that Dame Vera Lynn was watching the Queen's announcement, and when the Queen mentioned "We'll Meet Again," she said, "That's my song."
Yes, I gather she sang it again too with a young performer. They put on a performance of "We'll Meet Again," which I think is rather lovely. And wasn't the Queen's speech wonderful?
Yes, it was. And I understand it went to #1 briefly, in the same way as the parody of Elton John's song "Ground Control" to Major Tom has gone for the gentleman who has raised so much money at his age.
I think that was so heartwarming, wasn't it, to see what he could do and what response it got. It was lovely. It sums up a lot about us, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. I think it's the sense and spirit of harmony amongst us, who we are, what we are. It embraces not only just England, but it embraces the Commonwealth as well.
Oh, it does, completely, because you can see all around the world that people are rallying to support each other and doing the best they can. It's very difficult dealing with an enemy you can't see, but people are doing their best.
They are. And what's unfortunate is that we still have a certain negative element within our media who waste energy and time just criticizing when they could be a lot more proactive and a lot more generous with their comments than they are at the moment.
It does seem a pity that we can't stop some people from being so negative. It doesn't help the general morale at all. And I think that everybody in control of the situation are doing the best that they can with a situation we've never been in before. We really are trying to work it out as we go along. So there's no point criticizing. The thing to do is to support the people on the front line.
Yes, exactly. And not just turn around now and say, well, it's the government's responsibility. It's gone beyond that. It is our responsibility as well. We all have a moral obligation to support the measures being put in by people who know, the scientists, the administrators. And to be honest, in the UAE where we are at the moment, I feel tremendously safe at the actions that they're taking in terms of going out at night and spraying the streets to disinfect a country, not just a town, but a country, which is wonderful.
That is quite amazing. We're not going to get to that extent here, but like you, I do feel safe. I feel able to trust the people who are telling us what to do. That they're right. They're the experts. We're not. There's no point in questioning what they're doing.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, a lot of the members of the Royal Society of St. George will be in that vulnerable category.
Yes.
And that needs to change as well. We need to get more youth into the society, but that's a work in progress. I know that you're working on.
Yes, well, absolutely. We value our older members enormously. They're the backbone of our society. But in order to support them and to go into the future, we do need younger members. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
I think most organisations.
And the work that you do within the branches, unfortunately, has been curtailed, if you like. But given the spirit of the way the society works and the way that the English work, I don't think that's going to be a long time before we get back to normal.
No, I think you're right. I think when we have a chance to try to get back to normal, I think we'll do it quite quickly. Again, because of our spirit of recovery and regeneration. We're good at that. When we can do it, we will. It has been very strange not to be able to go and see people this year and spend time with them, as everybody knows. And I think the one thing that we're all going to want to do when we can is give each other a good hug. Yes,
indeed. We are still pursuing talking to branches. As you know, we've spoken to Manchester and Bolton,
yes,
Vancouver, Indonesia, and there's still more that are talking to us that we're waiting to lock down. We've just started a program of offering services to schools. So there's a certain amount, there is a good interest in what we're doing.
That's wonderful. It's a great initiative, and I think it's going to work very well because it's something different from what we normally do as a society. It takes us in a different direction, which is very healthy.
I think it's a value add, to be honest, and when people understand, especially now, that the way we do business in the world has changed completely, and I doubt whether it will ever go back to the way it was, and that conference calls like this are going to be the norm. And when people understand that, then at the end of the day, whether or not we'll be better off, I think we will, because technology is going to come to the forefront and all sorts of things are going to happen. I think it's an extremely exciting time.
It's a lovely way to look at it, isn't it? And you're absolutely right. If we make the most of what we've learned from this, it could stand us in very good stead in the future. The actual ability to be able to look someone in the face who's thousands of miles away and have a conversation as if they were in the same room changes an awful lot, doesn't it?
It does. And this, what comes to mind now is that necessity is the mother of invention. And that is more true now than it's ever been. And the fact is that we could sit here now, and if I had prearranged, which we will do again, we could bring somebody in from Australia, from America, all in little boxes on this, and we could have a chat that we've never been able to do before.
No, no, you're
In,
right. And it would have taken years to do this otherwise, because the technology's been there, but why use it if you can all get together and have a chat? Or in our case, we've never been able to do that except when you come to England. But now we're getting used to this. It's changed our perception a lot, hasn't it?
I think that there will be a move towards reconnecting with English people overseas, globally, within the Commonwealth, who we've not spoken to for a long time because we've not had that option. And now I think people will say, well, do you remember so-and-so? Where is he now? Oh, he's in Bombay. Well, let's give him a call. Let's see if he's on Zoom. Let's see if we can chat to them. And suddenly people will be thinking, I really should get a haircut, or have I got the right setup? But just nice to talk to people.
Yes, yes, I think exactly so. I'm sure there's a lot of people in the branches around the world, around the Commonwealth, who've never thought about communicating in this way. Certainly, I haven't really thought about communicating with people like this. Emails, we do all the time. This is a whole new way of living, isn't it?
It is, and I mentioned on our EBC website, I mentioned that when I first started in any sort of business capacity, when I was a young lad working for my father's shop, the business technology in those days was a black telephone with a dial and numbers and a cash register that added up the take for the day. And that was it. There wasn't anything else. There was nothing. And that's 60 years ago.
Yeah.
And now look where we've transitioned. I remember faxes and telex machines, and I can remember when the World Wide Web just belonged to British Airways.
Yes.
You know, we've gone a long way since then. And now, after learning everything that we could learn, we now have to start again. We have to go back to the beginning, and we have to explain to generations of older people who just got away with emails. Now that's one way, but now there is another way.
Yes. Yes, and I think everybody can take this technology on board. So many people do emails who would have said for a long time, I can't do that, I don't understand it. And it is, this technology is so easy.
Yes.
Once you put your head around it.
Yeah.
My son did have to write me 6 pages of instructions, but once I've been through them all, I've got it off to a fine art now.
Well, I think perhaps you and I could put together some sort of mini webinar to show people in very basic 101 terms, this is how you turn it on, this is how you point the arrow, and this is what you need to do next, so that even somebody with a limited technical understanding can get involved. And once, as you know, once they get involved, they'll be all over it. And I see grandchildren running in saying, Mummy, Granddad's stolen my laptop and he won't let me have it back, which is not happening now.
Yes, I think the children are getting better at understanding that we do need a little bit more help than they to understand this technology. But we've got it.
We always said that when videos came out and you wanted to put the timer on, find a 9-year-old, because they know how to do it. Now it's the same thing.
Yes, yes, you're right. Which is why I did need the idiot's guide to this. But once you've done it once, you go, oh yes, I understand now. I can see what it's all about. Yeah,
indeed.
It's having the
Joanna,
right.
it's been an absolute delight talking to you. Take care.
You too. Bye bye, David.
Bye now.